When you look at your balance sheet, where does revenue operations live? For many leaders, it sits in the expense column alongside software subscriptions and office rent. But if you are treating RevOps as a cost to be managed rather than a growth lever to be pulled, you might be leaving significant revenue on the table. In a climate where efficiency is the new growth, the cost of doing nothing is higher than ever. Did you know that 88% of companies with aligned teams meet or exceed their revenue goals? Despite this, many organizations struggle to quantify the actual RevOps ROI. They see the investment in people and platforms, but lack the framework to calculate ROI that satisfies a skeptical CFO. This guide will move beyond the buzzwords. We're going to look at the hard data, the specific metrics that matter, and how you can turn a black box of operational costs into a transparent, high-yield revenue engine. The CFO's perspective, moving beyond the black box. If you walk into a budget meeting and talk about synergy or alignment, you've already lost. Finance teams speak the language of predictability, risk mitigation, and margin. To prove the value of your RevOps investment, you must shift the narrative from spending money on better tools to investing in a multiplier. Why is this shift necessary? Because RevOps isn't just about making things run smoothly. It's about ensuring that every dollar spent on marketing and every hour spent by a sales rep produces a higher yield. Data shows that organizations with mature RevOps functions grow 19% faster and achieve 15% higher profitability. Think of RevOps as the plumbing of your organization. You can have the best water pressure in the world, marketing leads, but if your pipes are leaking or clogged, broken processes, very little of that water actually reaches the tap. By calculating the ROI of fixing those pipes, you aren't just looking at the cost of the wrench, you are looking at the value of the water saved. When you present these figures to your CFO, focus on how RevOps minimizes leakage. Are we losing leads because of slow follow-ups? Are we overpaying for software that no one uses? By framing the conversation around waste reduction and efficiency gains, you align your goals with the company's bottom line. The core metrics. What to track for RevOps ROI. To truly measure revenue operations ROI, you need to look at specific quantifiable metrics. These aren't just vanity metrics. They are the vital signs of your revenue health. 1. Shortening the time to close sales cycle length. Friction is the ultimate revenue killer. When a lead has to wait 3 days for a discovery call or a contract sits in an inbox for a week due to manual approval processes, your ROI drops. A Forrester study found that RevOps can shorten the sales cycle by up to 30%. How do you calculate this? Simply look at your average sales cycle length over the last 6 months. If your RevOps team implements automated contract management or better lead scoring that moves hot, leads to the front of the line, measure the delta. If you can close a deal in 40 days instead of 60, you've effectively increased your sales capacity by 33% without hiring a single new rep. 2. Increasing lead velocity. How fast do leads move through your funnel? Speed is often the difference between a closed-won deal and a lead that goes cold. If your RevOps team automates lead routing, response times can drop from hours to mere seconds. The data backs this up. Companies that lean into RevOps are 1.4 times as likely to exceed their revenue goals. By tracking lead velocity, you can see exactly where the bottlenecks are. Is it the handoff from marketing to sales? Is it the middle of funnel nurturing? RevOps provides the visibility to answer these questions and the tools to fix them. 3. Reducing total cost of ownership, TCO. Most companies suffer from tech stack bloat. They pay for 50 HubSpot seats when they only need 30, or they subscribe to 3 different tools that all do the same thing. RevOps performs a tech audit to consolidate these tools. By reducing redundant seat costs and eliminating integrations that require constant, expensive manual maintenance, RevOps can reduce go-to-market costs by roughly 30% through process optimization. When calculating ROI, don't forget to include the hard dollars saved on software licenses. The hidden ROI, reclaiming the time dividend. There is a cost to manual work that rarely shows up on a spreadsheet. We call it the time dividend. Every hour a sales rep spends manually updating CRM fields, searching for content, or cleaning up a lead list is an hour they are not spending talking to prospects. Let's do the math. Suppose you have a team of 20 sales reps. Through RevOps automation, such as automated data entry, smart task queues, and templated follow-ups, you save each rep just 2 hours per week. That sounds small, right? But over a year, that is 2,080 hours of reclaimed selling time. At a standard 40-hour work week, that's like adding an entire full-time sales rep to your team for free. When RevOps takes over the drudge work of the CRM, organizations typically see a 10 to 20% boost in sales productivity. When you're calculating the ROI, ask yourself, what would our revenue look like if our best sellers had 20% more time to actually sell? A practical framework for calculating the ROI. How do you actually put a number on paper? It's simpler than it looks. The basic formula is financial gain, cost of investment, cost of investment. To get to that financial gain number, follow these 4 steps. Identify new revenue from conversions. If RevOps improved your lead to close rate by even 2%, how much new revenue does that represent? For a company with $10 million in annual revenue, a 2% lift is $200,000. Calculate savings from reduced churn. RevOps isn't just for sales, it's for customer success too. Better data visibility means you can spot at-risk customers before they leave. If you reduce churn by 5%, what is the lifetime value, LTV, of those saved accounts? Factor in tech savings. Add up the licenses you canceled and the hours of developer time you saved by using native integrations instead of custom-coded band-aids. Subtract the investment. This includes your RevOps lead salary or your RevOps agency's fees, plus the cost of your core tech stack, e.g. HubSpot. The result: if you spend $150,000 on a RevOps function but it generated $450,000 in combined revenue gains and cost savings, your RevOps ROI is 200%. That is a number any CFO would be happy to see. Maximizing the investment, the HubSpot factor. For many growth stage companies, HubSpot is the engine room of their RevOps strategy. However, there is a massive difference between having HubSpot and using HubSpot. Are you looking at a single source of truth, or do you have data scattered across spreadsheets, Slack messages, and disconnected apps? ROI lives in the single source of truth. When your marketing, sales, and service teams all look at the same data, they move faster. Think of it like a high-performance car. Many companies buy the Ferrari, HubSpot Enterprise, but drive it like a golf cart because they don't have a driver who knows how to shift gears. They use it as a glorified Rolodex instead of a revenue engine. To maximize your RevOps ROI, you need to move from administering the tool, resetting passwords, and creating basic lists, to architecting it. This means building complex workflows that mirror your buyer's journey and using advanced reporting to predict future revenue rather than just reporting on the past. Why strategy beats software every time? It is tempting to think that buying the right tool will solve your revenue problems, but software is just an accelerant. If you have a bad process, software just helps you execute it faster. The real ROI of RevOps comes from the strategy behind the tool. It involves asking the hard questions. Why are leads stalling at the proposal stage? Do we have a consistent definition of a marketing qualified lead, MQL? Are our sales commissions aligned with our long-term customer retention goals? RevOps is the bridge between the what, our revenue goals, and the how, our daily actions. When that bridge is sturdy, your team can cross it with confidence. When it's shaky, everyone moves slowly, fearing a fall. The human element of RevOps ROI. While we focused heavily on data and dollars, we shouldn't overlook the impact on company culture. Friction doesn't just kill revenue, it kills morale. Sales reps get frustrated when they receive bad leads. Marketing teams get frustrated when their hard work isn't followed up on. Customer success teams get frustrated when they inherit a client who was promised something the product can't do. RevOps solves this internal friction. By creating clear handoffs and shared goals, you create a more cohesive, happier team. While it's hard to put a price tag on employee happiness, we do know that happy, empowered employees stay longer. Reducing turnover in your sales department is a massive, often overlooked part of calculating the ROI of your operational investment. Your roadmap to predictable growth. Calculating the ROI of your RevOps investment is not a one-time task to be completed for an annual review. It is a continuous feedback loop that tells you where your business is healthy and where it needs surgery. When your systems, people, and data are aligned, growth stops being a matter of luck or hustle and starts becoming a mathematical certainty. You move from reactive firefighting, scrambling to hit numbers at the end of the quarter, to proactive scaling. At Aspiration Marketing, we specialize in helping businesses bridge the gap between having a CRM and having a revenue engine. Whether you are looking to maximize your HubSpot ROI or you need a strategic partner to build your RevOps roadmap from scratch, we provide the expertise to ensure your investment pays off. Don't let your growth engine idle. It's time to turn your operational costs into a strategic advantage. Would you like us to perform a RevOps audit of your current HubSpot setup to identify where you might be losing ROI?